This is John for the Everyday Fan Sports. I'm here on the beat. I had the pleasure of talking to Bill Schelli of Rocket Pro Wrestling. How are you, Bill?
I'm good, man. How are you, John?
I am great, man. I haven't yet seen. I haven't talked to you in person yet. I haven't seen a show. I definitely want to come out to it. I've heard just rave reviews over Rocket Pro Wrestling. But before we get started, a mutual friend turned me on to you and Rocket Pro. Jack Keenan of he's the financial secretary, Knights of Columbus of the
Yes, he is.
Police Council in Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's also my realtor when I bought and sold my place. So he turned me on to you, and here we are.
That's great. Thanks for having me, John.
Well, thanks for coming in. So let me ask you, let me start with, why did you start a wrestling company?
Well, we're generational fans. My wife, my son, and I, we go back to Channel 26, black and white TV. We only had so many channels. On Sunday, that's what you had. You got home from church, bam, you watch wrestling. And it was Ben's Auto Sales and everything that they used to have on Chicagoland TV. But we would watch all that. But my uncle Bill Charmoli was big into wrestling. And he was friends with the original Claw from Chicago Pro Wrestling back in the day. So we would do everything in our power to avoid going near the dining room table as an Italian family, because Uncle Bill would put us in some kind of crazy headlock or something. So it goes back really far in mind. So where I was a little kid, my wife's family as well, Italians from Cicero, they would always watch wrestling as well every Sunday. Her father was big into wrestling. My wife is big into wrestling. And, when kids are young, they all have their thing. My son was into Star Wars. And all of a sudden, I took him to the Allstate Arena. The lights go off, and The Undertaker comes out. Dong. And my son's face lit up. Star Wars was out the window, even though he still likes Star Wars to this day. But everything was WWE, John, from that point forward. And my son graduated college for heating and air school, and I'm a heating and air guy myself. And I said, hey, what do you want? My father bought me an 82 Trans Am when I graduated college. It was used, but he bought me that. So I said, what do you want? And he's like, Dad, I want a wrestling ring. And I'm like, okay. So I wound up buying a wrestling ring, and that wrestling ring was in my yard here in Downers Grove for 2 years. And he trained with a guy named Nuke, which is Kevin Palmer, who's my booker today. He worked at Menards. And I am a contractor out of Menards in Bolingbrook. So it turned out that we would walk around and talk about wrestling. Next thing you know, St. Joseph's Park had Pro Blitz. Do you remember Pro Blitz?
Absolutely.
With Tony Scarpone?
Yep.
Well, another fellow Italian, right? He stopped running at St. Joe's and Joliet. I'm a parishioner at St. Joe's and Joliet. I asked Father Tim, hey, we got the ring. I'll start a company. Let's come back to St. Joe's and Joliet. The rest is history. We've been in business since 2018, October 11th of 2018.
Wow. Well, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, I attended many Blitz shows back in the day. Absolutely. Tony ran some good shows.
Great shows. I mean, if you look at our card, it mimics it in a lot of ways. Because a lot of our guys that we reached out to when we started were guys that we were fans of, Grin and Marche and Shogun. It worked out for the best for us. It worked out for the best for the fans in Joliet as well.
So what titles do you have in the company?
Well, right now I am owner and event coordinator, but any Italian man that tells you his wife don't run everything is lying to you. So Michelle is the owner of the company. It's a minority woman-owned business. Again, we've been in business since October 11th of 2018. And I can honestly tell you, being in the Knights of Columbus, it's all of us together that make RPW. So everybody has a thing, but event coordinator and owner on my end, I pay everybody because there's the money. And then I'm in charge of the arena. So that arena has to be set up. We start on Thursday afternoon. We break down the senior fair at St. Joe's Park, which is like 200 chairs and tables, set up the ring, and then go from there and put up everything else, the lights, the stage, the ramp. It's nonstop from Thursday through Sunday afternoon, nonstop for a 3.5-hour show.
Is that the same ring that you had in your yard, or do you have a different?
It is. It's
Wow.
it's a 20 by 20 regulation WWE ring. So we ordered the 18 by 18. And the guy who manufactures for the WWE and AEW, he called and said somebody backed out on him on a 20 by 20, and he's willing to give us the 20 by 20 for the same cost as 18 by 18. So of course we took it.
Yeah, but that's a little bigger than the average indie show probably is the 18, right?
Average indie shows 16 or 18.
Okay.
AEW runs with an 18 by 18. AEW does. Rocket Pro, a couple other guys, northern Wisconsin, like Manitowoc, Minnesota, and a few other people run with a 20 by 20, but WWE and RPW are 20 by 20, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, let's say that makes the guys unique.
Yeah.
So who is your champion right now?
Our champion right now is Christian Rose.
And I know you've got a big paper. You have a big event coming up in Fall Brawl.
Huge event. I'm dumping money in this like a drunk sailor. We have a 20-man rumble, which I'm not going to disclose everybody who's going to be in there. There's a lot of surprise entrants. We have Grin versus Christian Rose. And Grin has been fantastic. The fans love him. He lights up the arena. We have those damn Coyotes, which have been all over the circuit, Illinois, Iowa, everywhere. And they are fantastic as a group. They come out, they do their thing. We love them. But really, I got to talk about the Fabulous Idols and Joey Roth. They have just taken RPW by storm. I give them all the credit in the world for doing it. I don't agree with the way they do things, but they own it. And right now at this next show, they are running the company. They earned the right to run the company. They kicked me in the head. They grabbed my wife. Flash Harris took my son out and gave him a severe orbital skull fracture off the second row. And my son was out for 8 weeks, Maximus Orion. So he's coming back. Shogun's going to be there. Marche Rocket's going to be there. Christian Rose is going to be there. Grin's going to be there. The Coyotes are going to be there. The Idols are running the show. Steve doesn't want to get at the announce table. I don't know where I lie in all this, or even if they're going to let me do my job. They better, because otherwise the lighting's not going to be good. So,
well, I talked to Joey a lot. I just interviewed Steve. And yeah, there's a lot of things up in the air as to what may or may not happen at the show, which really is good for you, because that's going to build attendance. People should check this out, because from what I hear, this could get really crazy and really fun. But
it definitely will be. Definitely will be.
Now, Grin was he retired?
Yes.
And then you guys got him back. And I listen, I love Grin. I saw him probably 8, 9, 10 years ago. My dad loves Grin, and my dad doesn't even really follow wrestling, but he's a big Grin fan. How did you manage to pull that guy back in?
You know, it was the family environment that we boast. We're a Catholic company. We're at St. Joe's Park. We're parishioners there. The alcohol is affordable. We want families to come in. Our goal at RPW is to bridge that generation gap between grandpa, dad, the kids, Aunt Susie, everybody. Get them all back involved, because independent pro wrestling and pro wrestling as a whole requires that. We have to push our sport forward, and it's a family thing. It was for us, and that's why I'm here today with you. So
I know you advertise as family friendly, but let's be clear. There's still lots of punching. There's still lots of
when I say family friendly, we watch what we wear and what we say and what we do. The pastor of the church watches the show on YouTube. So you have to kind of walk that line, because you're just not going to want to do that in a Catholic environment. But these guys, with the craft and the way they carry themselves, they don't need swearing and rated R or rated X actions to do what they do and what they love. They don't need it. Their characters speak loudly, and that's all we ask.
So what other championships? I know you've got the heavyweight title, you've got a tag title. Are there any other championships?
I got the whole card in front of me. Get this: Quinn Whittock versus Damian Morningstar from Tampa, from Florida, versus the Ryan Matthews, who has been great, by the way. Fans love him. They love to hate him.
That's perfect.
Which I like. Versus Aaron Stone. And Aaron Stone has been a key here in Chicago. I mean, if in my opinion, he's NXT material. So that would be a qualifying match for the Rocket to the Top ladder match. So that is going to be there. Just if I don't have enough to do, I'm doing a ladder match.
Of course.
A singles match between Cody James and the master of the Chicago Bear Hug, Steve Michaels.
Oh, that's a good one too, because I know Steve pretty well, and Cody James, I've been hearing a lot about him.
Flash Harris, our inter-county champion, has actually issued an open challenge.
Oh.
And Flash doesn't like to show up to all the events. He doesn't think he has to. He's got the belt, he's got the title, he does what he wants. I respect that. But he's coming in to issue an open challenge. We have no idea who's going to accept that challenge. It could be Skylar Reed from Milwaukee or from Canada. It could be Garrison Creed, who's been fantastic for RPW and a fan favorite. We just don't know who's going to show up. We booked another singles match. Jason Hatch from Impact Wrestling.
Wow.
Versus All Day Marche.
Oh, Marche. I've known him for years. Excellent guy. In and out, excellent in the ring and out of the ring.
You know what? I'm happy to have Rocket Pro Wrestling with Marche Rocket because he's a veteran and he takes care of a lot of different things back of house. I mean, he is just a stellar guy, a good wrestler, cares about people, cares about our company. Will do just about anything to make sure that the show goes off without a hitch. He's just a fantastic guy. Then we have the idols for our tag team matches, Damian Gray and Johnny Nye versus No Coast, Joey Blues and Brian Kraser. And there's a lot going on with that one. I mean, the fans are just chomping at the bit for that tag team match. And really, the idols are so cocky, I have to kind of lean that way.
Never count them out.
No. I mean, I can't. And I love No Coast, and No Coast loves I love them. But I mean, it's just it's the way things are going right now that makes me a little nervous for them. Then we have match number 6 is a singles match for the RPW championship, which is the Icon Grin versus Old Evil Christian Rose.
Ooh.
Christian Rose has made a hell of a name for himself in Illinois and beyond. He's really helped our company as well with attendance. He's got what it takes. He's got charisma, and the fans love that. But then on the other end of the fence with charisma, you got Grin.
You got Grin.
Right. So, you know, they can make fun of his thing all they want, but it's still Grin. And the fans just go nuts every time he comes out. Then we got the 20-man Rocket Rumble, which I can't really disclose a lot of the guys that are going to be in it.
Understood.
As you can imagine, reading what I already read you off of the main card, which, by the way, is on our website at rocketprowrestling.com. You can see the full card and future events because there's so many surprises coming up, John. I can't disclose everything, and my son yells at me when I do because I have a mouth.
Well, that's why you'll have to come back on for updates in the future.
Anytime you want me, I interview well.
No, absolutely. I don't want this just to be a one-time shot. I want to follow this along. Everyday fan sports wants to.
We're happy to be here, buddy. We're so happy to be a part of the independent wrestling world. It takes a while to break into this business, and this is year 5. We have to turn a profit. We're a corporation. We're not a company, we're a corporation. So we have to show a profit this year. So we're watching every penny.
Sure.
We're reinvesting the money into the company. So I went to Impact Wrestling and I see they have a hint of fog throughout the entire arena. And it accents their lights to where they show like a fan almost, the way they kind of look, right?
Right.
They had them above the ring. So I'm adding colored lights above the ring. And a 4K high definition ringside camera, which we've never owned, which costs some pretty big bucks.
Yeah.
But we're doing that. I have a new cinematographer from Illinois Media School in Lombard. God sent me that kid, and he's fantastic. His name is Cinema Sean. Fantastic kid. So we're changing a bunch of stuff. We're probably going to use dry ice to get a low lying fog this year.
Sure.
That comes over the ramp, because the regular fog machine kind of asphyxiates people. You know, I mean, it throws out that fog, and it does great for the lights and the effect, but it also kind of like, you know, it always goes to Steve and Michelle and Blackburn, our announcers. Lord only knows what the idols are going to do with that announce table, because Steve won't go. I'm normally on lights and, you know, direction. Kevin's always in the back running the show. Damian Saint hit Shogun in the back of the head with a chair, and that's how the idols won the ability to run the show, because they cheated with Damian Saint, and he's a referee and now a manager, which means J-Beck the Paycheck, who's our general manager, is not going to be managing at the next show. Rumor has it, none of us are doing any of our jobs. We have to wait for what Joey Roth tells us what to do. And I don't think Joey Roth's going to tell us what to do an hour before the show.
Well, I'll tell you this. I spent a lot of time with Joey at the recent C2E2, and I tried to get some information out of him, and he was a clam. He was not telling me anything that was going to happen. But I'm going to make the prediction that not at this show, but eventually it's going to come down to Joey versus Steve, whether they go at it by themselves or whether they have wrestlers representing them. I think it's going to come down to that at some point.
Well, you know, there's a precursor to all this, because I don't know if Roth and Roxy are going to show up to IPW on the 30th or 31st down in Richmond Park. We're going. RPW is going, because I'm there to support my announcer. Steve is my announcer. Steve is contracted with me, with Bill Schelli, with Rocket Pro, and I support him 110%. So we're all going down. So we'll see what happens in that precursor show. There's a lot of people that are going to be there. I love C-Red. I think C-Red and his crew are fantastic.
Oh, I love C-Red. Great guy.
Miles Mercer, great wrestler.
Yep.
Both of them have been at RPW in the past. Again, I'm going to go down and watch this. Ewok has been at RPW, and Ewok is wrestling at the IPW show. So if anybody wants to go see a precursor to what's going to happen on September 10th, it's going to happen at IPW with Rion Skills and his show.
No, do you have any plans of adding women?
Well, we've done that multiple times over the years. We will. It's a trick. It depends on the rest of the management team, because I don't act alone. If it was up to me, it would be the next show. But again, I have other managers that have their opinions and what is said and what is going on. And I can tell you that if I go to my YouTube channel, those are the most watched shows, because I can see how many people watch.
Sure.
So, you know, I'm all for it. Again, I can't speak to that, because again, we're a corporation with multiple people making decisions, not just me.
Right.
On the money.
How many shows a year do you usually run?
We run 9 shows a year. We do not run June, July, or August.
So you take the summer off, okay?
Yeah, because St. Joseph's Park has all the picnics for the churches.
Sure.
And there's no way we can set up. Now, I'm thinking about doing one outside at St. Joe's Park, up on the hill.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Tent. Then you're dealing with the fire department. Then you're dealing with outdoor alcohol.
Weather.
RPW doesn't make a dime off alcohol. St. Joe's Church makes all the money, which is how I want it. I mean,
Sure.
That's my parish. I want them to make that money. I mean, they pull in decent money. I mean, our people drink, you know, it's a fun time. So I was thinking about doing some kind of SummerSlam type thing in the summertime at the park. Like if somebody backs out of a picnic, then I would consider doing it. At this point, 5 years in, John, we haven't made a dime. Not a dime. Because whatever money we do make, we put back into the talent, back into the arena, back into the lighting, and all this stuff costs money.
Right, right.
And again, if you want the number one arena, you got to put the money into it. And that's really my goal. I want to be number one production. I just want everybody to want to come showcase their talents. One of the things I can say to you, and you'll appreciate this, is if you look at the entrances of any of my shows on YouTube, there is not one RPW letter, logo, nothing in the background. My goal is to allow our talent to use those videos to push themselves forward. If they get picked up by NXT or by Impact or by somebody else, where'd you come from? Rocket Pro Wrestling. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want my name on a curtain. I don't want my name on a Jumbotron, which it is, but we keep that out of the picture because it's about those wrestlers showcasing their talents. And that is something that not a lot of companies do.
No, I was going to say that's very unique because it's usually, the company name in your face. But yeah, I did notice that you guys, there's more of a spotlight on the actual wrestlers.
Right. And that's what we want because that's the talent. That's what's putting fans, or excuse my French, asses in seats at my arena, is the fact that those wrestlers are who they are. They come out and do their thing. Are my entrances long? You bet your ass they are. Joey Roth, we have to increase his song length because he takes so long at the arena, at the ringside.
He soaks it in.
But that's what we want.
Sure.
Believe it or not, guys like us from the past, that's what we lived for. The Iron Sheik, Randy Macho Man Savage. They didn't come running into the ring the way they do today. They showcased everything outside of the ring, which is what we really want our wrestlers to do. I mean, Marche Rocket is one of the only ones who'll say, cut the music. You'll never hear anybody else say that but Marche. I mean, because the rest of them soak it up. Rion Skills, he'll come out 3 times before he gets the right experience. And when the fans are the way he wants them, then he makes his entrance. Joey Roth and the Idols, they get everybody riled up. They piss everybody off. And again, that is what I'm looking for at RPW. I want the entrance. The kids want the entrance. The dads want the entrance. The grandfathers who watched, the stuff we watched on Channel 26, they want the entrance. That's what it's all about.
And before or after the show or intermission, do your wrestlers come out? Do they take the pictures? Do they have tables? They sign autographs, that sort of stuff?
Well, yeah, it's very typical independent wrestling, meaning if you're a heel, you don't go out. If you're a face, you're out there. Christian Rose, for example, sells his stuff ringside. He doesn't put up a table, nothing. He sits up on the ropes and he sells it ringside during our intermission, which I find admirable. I like that.
Sure.
Marche, you'll find Marche at the bar all the way until 9 o'clock at night. You'll be able to have a glass of whiskey with Shogun and a cigar after the show because they all go to the bar. They are very comfortable at St. Joe's Park because it's their home. They've been there for so many years with Pro Blitz and RPW now. It's their home. So we encourage them to stay. A lot of guys will stay and help me break down the ring, which is fantastic because it takes days to put it up and days to take it down.
I've done that a few times myself. Yeah, people don't realize just how much work there is in putting together and taking down the ring. Absolutely.
That's right.
Bill, before I let you go, tell everybody where they can find out more information about Rocket Pro Wrestling.
All right. Well, you can go to our website. That's the best place. RocketProWrestling.com. We're the only one out there. If you go to YouTube and you just type in Rocket Pro Wrestling, we're the only one out there, which is kind of cool. That's how I got Rocket Pro's name. Is it's unique. Nobody else has it in the country. And I made sure that nobody else can take it from me either. Nice. So if you go to RocketProWrestling.com, it shows our website will always have 3 shows out. And then every month we do the card. But any good wrestling company is not going to show their cards for the next month. So you won't see anything for Darkness Falls until we hand out the flyer at the Fall Brawl show. Then you'll know who's going to be where and what's going to happen. But I can tell you, Darkness Falls on October 2nd, nobody's going to want to miss that one. I mean, I'm spending money again, which is what I'm best. You know, my wife's like, will you quit spending money? I'm like, I can't. I have a passion for this. Also Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And we're also part of the Joliet Chamber of Commerce, which has an event page, and we're on there as well. So we're real proud members of the Joliet Chamber of Commerce. We're currently seeking advertisers for the season 5, which is this year, 22-23. Everything is just fallen into place. We're very blessed. I want to thank you for having me on the show tonight. It's fantastic to be a part of the independent wrestling community. It took a while for me to be accepted, but I think you guys know I'm here to stay, man. I ain't going nowhere. So
that's great to hear. That's Joliet's a great area for wrestling. Blitz used to have great shows there. I know you're having great shows because I hear it from everybody. That's why I had to talk to you. I had to finally get down and talk to you. And like I said, we want to have you back on. We want to cover the Rocket Pro Wrestling going forward. And we encourage everyone to check out your shows and give my best to Grin and Marche and all the other guys.
I will do that. Try to make the show. I'll comp you in, man.
Shh, we can't tell anybody that.
Yeah, right. I do what I want when I want. That's what makes me me.
Hey, I knew I would like you because I'm half Italian too, so we got that going.
Oh yeah, we're both talking with our hands.
Exactly. That's right.
So, and again, I'm friends with Tony Scarpone and Rocky Pacini and some of the guys from Blitz, and they'll be at the show. This is going to be a great show. Try to make this next show because, like I said, when you're spending money on a 20-man rumble, take a look around Illinois and tell me how many 20-man rumbles there are. I think. You see 10, you see 12. You don't usually see 20. No, we just want to make sure that we're number one. There's no prize. I used to race motocross, John. There's no prize for second place.
I like that. Absolutely.
And I always want to try to be number one and give the fans and the wrestlers the best arena to showcase their talents and to enjoy pro wrestling. That's my goal. And thank you again for having me.
Thank you, Bill. Everyone check out Rocket Pro Wrestling. Check out their show. Check them out on social media and the website. Go to the show if you can. It's a great product. Bill, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Johnny.